Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to refactor our test cases from the previous video. But first, let's run it again and see if things are still working. So, robot include, what is that, 6. We are running only the first employee. It's a 6 logs, then the register file. Yes, so let's check the log. Yeah, all the keywords passed. So so John Doe has been registered as an employee. But the problem we had was that in case we were supposed to change something from any of the employees, we had to go through all the employees to make that change. So in this video, we are going to talk about variables and user-defined keywords. Since most of these are repeating anyway, it is advisable to create its own keyword for it. So anytime we want to use it, we just use it. We don't have to copy and paste all this all the time. So let's start refactoring our test cases. For now, I will delete the other employees we registered. So we have only one employee. So we are going to put the repeating keywords into its separate keyword. So we use it anytime we want. So first and foremost, let me start with the open browser. Since every test case opens the browser and we have to always manually type this, it is advisable to put this URL and the web browser in their own variables. And we can do that by declaring those variables in the variables section of the file. So this is how variables are defined in the robot framework. So $ and 2 curly brackets and the name of the variable. But remember that the variable name has to be different from that of any inbuilt variables. So let's give the URL. Then you tab a few times and now we can cut and paste the value here. And the same for the browser. So we tab a few times, cut the Chrome and paste it over here. And these variables are called global variables because any test case can access any of these variables. So later we'll talk about local variables as well. There are basically two types will be used in the global variable and the local variable. So now that we have separated or we have put the URL in the browser into their own variables, let's call them. So this is how we call them. We just reference the variable. So URL, and then tab a few times and the browser. Yes, and let's see if it still works. Yeah, so it opened the browser again, even though we changed. So this is how we use variables in robot framework. So now it is time to do the major refactoring. So let's see. We are going to create a keyword and put the similar keywords into it. So what would be a good name for the keyword? Let's say register an employee. I usually use capital. Yes, so that is the keyword. And then we can also supply the documentation for it as well. So this keyword tries to add an employee by using some set of details provided. So all we are saying is this register keyword, register an employee keyword is going to take some values or some arguments. So arguments, this is how we tell the keyword that, hey, expect some number of arguments so that we can use that to register the employee. So what do we need? From here, all these are the same, whether you are registering John Doe or Jane Doe or Alex. So we can just cut this. We can start from this place actually. We can cut all these and put them here for now. And then we are telling it that we are passing John to first name field, Doe to the last name field, and blah, blah, blah. So it's taking one argument, two arguments, three arguments, 4, and 5. So 5 arguments. So you need 5 details of the employee to register that person. So all we have to do is tell the keyword, these are the arguments we are expecting. We are expecting first name to be passed in. We are expecting last name to be passed in. We are expecting the date of birth to be passed in. We are expecting the social security number, so SSN for short. And then we are expecting the person's salary as well. So let's say salary. So we are telling the register an employee keyword that to register an employee, we need 5 arguments or 5 details to be passed in: first name, last name, DOB, date of birth, social security number, and the person's salary. So let's get to work. So all we have to do is cut this as well and paste them over here. So in place of, so these are the same for all employees, so it doesn't matter. If we have to, we can leave it this way. So we have to come here, input text. So now it is not hard-coded anymore. It is going to be first name because we are passing the first name from the test case anyway. So we are using the first name variable, the last name variable, the date of birth, the SSN, and the person's salary to register the person. So salary, let me just tab this so they are. Yes, so and we have one last change to make. So instead of John, we can simply use the first name. But since names are not really unique, we can use the SSN instead, because the SSN is supposed to be for only one employee or one person. So instead of the John or Jane, we are going to use the person's SSN, and that is going to be unique. And on the previous video, we realized that when the employees were too many, we couldn't see the bottom of the table. So there is one keyword, scroll into view, we can use, and that expects a locator. So we are just going to copy this one and paste it here. So this is the refactoring. So let me explain this. Yes, so assuming the person is registered, the name comes into this table, and then the scroll into view kicks in. But first, it checks if that person actually exists in the table. So let's right click, inspect, and we are saying that after registering the person, let's check if we are using the short security, right? So this is the short security. So let's check if the short security is in the table, and this is it. It's in the table. So if it's in the table, then scroll to that side. So it's going to scroll to the that part of the screen that shows the social security number. But if it's only one or two, you won't see it in effect because they're already showing on the screen. So the scrolling does not really take effect, but you only see it when they're like 4 or 5 employees. Yes, so after adding, it waits for 10 seconds to check if the social security number of the employee has appeared in the table, and then it would scroll to that part of the screen and finally take the screenshot of the page and close the browser. So this is the refactoring. So we have to do this only once. So anytime we want to add an employee, all we have to do is, so now we can use register, let's say John Doe. So we know this particular test case registers John Doe, and then we can call that employee, register an employee keyword. So this is it. When you start typing the name of the keyword you want, it populates or the drop down appears, or you can just select it. Yes, so it tells you the number of arguments it needs. So it needs the first name, the last name, which is Doe, date of birth, let's say Saturday 20th January 1990, and then the social security number. Let's put something, and then the salary. So salary maybe 90,000 euros a year. So this is what we need to register an employee. So let's see it in action. Yes, so it still works. Let's click that last. So as you can see, it's showing at the bottom. So now let's register Jane Doe. So all you have to do is copy the test case, paste, and change John Doe. And then let's remove this one from here so it doesn't register the John Doe again. So register Jane Doe. We change the name Jane Doe. They are twins, so then we leave it PY, and let's say this, and let's register her. Run. Yes, so as you can see, it scrolled to the Jane Doe. So let's check the screenshot. And as you can see, Jane Doe at the bottom because it scrolled down. So let's go back to that side and let me just slow it down. Let me sleep for about 2 seconds. Let's see it on the page. So let's register another employee. So this will be maybe Alex Doe. And let's remove the So it doesn't re-register the Jane Doe. So Alex Doe, let's say June 93, any number, and let's run that one as well. Yes, as you can see, scroll to the Alex. So let's go to the log file. Yeah, so the register Alex also worked. So it is telling us that we are using a keyword, register an employee. So let's click that. And this keyword tries to add an employee by using some set of details. So this is basically all what is in the keyword. And it says open browser. It references the URL and the browser. So now anytime we want to change something, assuming the developers change the URL of the page, all we have to do is come here. Let's say the endpoint has changed to employees. So all you have to do is come there. Of course, it's going to fail because it doesn't really exist. So all you have to do is come there, change it, and all the test cases that use the URL are going to use it because we've done it once and we've referenced it in the register an employee keyword. So as I said, these are global variables. So let me remove this. And as I said, in global variables, the variables are accessible by all the test cases that are in that file. So we can call this URL variable and the browser variable in any test case, and it's still going to work. So let's log those variables to the screen and see. So we have the URL, and then we have the browser. And let's register Alex again. But let's change. So it's a different. Yes. So it goes. So that one works. So let's go back to the log file. And you see I am logging the URL and the browser. So the register Alex do test case can see or has access to the URL variable and the browser variable because they are global. So they are global. But when we come to this register an employee keyword, these are local, meaning it can only be accessed within this register an employee keyword. So let's try something and see. Let me declare another name, first name over here, and type, let's say, hello world. So this is the first. So this first name is a global variable which can be accessed in. So let me change. Let me remove this one and put first name over here. And now let me go within the register an employee and log the first name over there as well. Let's see if something changes. So I'm changing the social security because we are going to scroll to that social security. If it's the same as the previous employee, then it's going to always scroll to the first one it sees on the page. So that's why I'm changing it. So it is different from the other employees. So now let's see. Let's register again. Yes, it passed. Now let's go and check. Yes, so this is Alex Doe once again. Let's see what's in the first name. This is Hello World. This is the global variable that I created from here. Now let's go and check within the register an employee keyword. Yes, so as you can see, this is saying Alex, even though the global variable is saying hello world, because the local variable takes precedence over the global variable. It is always going to use the local variable first. If you didn't see, if there was no first name variable or argument passing, it is going to use the hello world to do that. So in the local variables are only local to that function or keyword that it is created in. So you can't access this first name variable in, let's say, the gender, for instance. So let me remove the global one, because so now there's no global variable first name. So as you can see, it says log first name, but it says what? Undefined variable first name, because it is no more global. The only place in this file we can see test case is within the register an employee keyword, and that is a local variable. So this register Alex though cannot access it from within another keyword, because it's within this register an employee keyword. So that is basically the introduction to variables and the user defined keywords. As you can see, this is really clean. So if there's any change, all we have to do is just make the change here, and that is it. So we can register as many employees as we want by just writing the name of the test case and just calling the register an employee keyword. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more.